Hi, I'm Sarah,
And I'm Alana. This is A Pinch of English, A Dash of Morocco.
the official podcast of the American Language Center.
And today we're talking about the perfect trip to the US and the perfect trip to Morocco.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, summer's coming up.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah, and it's time to start making plans. So
Yes.
this seemed like a good topic. Just exploring our countries.
Yeah.
So when I was thinking of the US, it's very different from traveling in Morocco because the US is huge.
Exactly, yes.
Oh gosh, I probably should have researched them about like the size difference, but I know like Morocco is a little bigger than California, which is one of 50 states. Of course, it's a large state, but I mean, there's just the US is huge and there's a lot to see. And I haven't been to all the states myself. I've probably been to like 40 of them, but not all of them. So the trip I planned, and we talked about doing a 2-week vacation.
Yes, 15 days.
And so, this is going to be in there. I didn't account for all the travel times because it will take time to travel. But it's about 15 days.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give just a taste of what there is, but it's definitely not going to be everything because you can't. It's impossible.
Yes. Also for Morocco, 15 days is not enough to discover everything and see everything. So we'll just give part of it, and then of course there's more to see. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so like I said, it's like a taste of different. I try to get some different regions, and of course like the big ones.
Yes.
So naturally, I just chose to start with New York because it's I think right now it's the only city you can fly directly from Casablanca to the US. With the pandemic, Royal Air Morocco cut back on the cities they fly into the U.S. So we're just going to start with New York. And that's kind of an obvious one to me. For me, that's a big one. So it's so famous. And, you know, if you go to the U.S., it's like, oh, did you go to New York? So we'll do New York. And I was thinking like 4 days in New York because there's a lot to do. And there would be going to the monuments, so Statue of Liberty, and then the Empire State Building, and if you count like Times Square, which is just in the middle of the city, and it has a lot of restaurants. It's where you see the like billboards that are all televised and the stock exchange numbers going by. So just a very famous area. I've heard that locals, like New Yorkers, they don't like going there because it's always packed with tourists. Yeah. But I think it's a good place too. Just at least visit for a few hours. And there's tons of hotels, so it's actually like a good place to stay. I didn't choose a hotel because that's just going to depend on where people, how close you want to be to the action. Do you want to be in Times Square? Do you like a lot of action? Or would you want to be somewhere quieter? Staying in Manhattan is quite expensive, but it's a lot more convenient because you have a lot of people who live outside of Manhattan who come in, so there'll be rush hour and busy times on the trains and on the road. So I would think if you want to spend just 4 days in New York, stay on the island of Manhattan. And then, like I said, go to the Statue of Liberty. You could do a boat tour around it because it's in the water. And then Times Square and then Empire State Building, just classic things to do. And what I like to do when I visit any city that's new, especially one with a lot of sightseeing and things, is I like to take a tour on a bus. And they have a lot of, all over the world, they have like hop-on, hop-off buses. So you can sit in the bus, and in New York, they have the open top ones.
Yeah, I saw them in movies.
Yeah, so you can sit and like you have all the big skyscrapers, and then you get some information of what you're seeing, and then on certain ones you can get off and then get back on. So it's also a good way to travel through the city. Yeah. And so I think that should be part of it. I don't know if that would be 1 day. And then definitely Central Park. Good thing about Central Park is it's free. And it's just huge, and there's a lot to see and do. And then in Central Park, you have right off of Central Park, you have the Museum of Modern Art, which is a really good art museum. So I would suggest that. And then there's a public library, like a famous old public library right off of the park that you could visit too. And then you could do a day or half a day doing Chinatown. So for the culture and getting some good Chinese food. And then there's also other Asian cultures who've added on to that. Maybe get a Broadway show at night, which would be really cool. I think that would be awesome. And then, and then I think just exploring. So, New York has a lot of, and shopping. So it has a lot of mixtures of entertainment and then the park. So you get some outside and then just the busy areas.
Yeah. Is it expensive as a city?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's expensive. I was, just looking for my family. And it would be like $2,000 for like 3 nights for just the hotel.
The hotel.
And then, and I mean, it's famous for how expensive the apartments are. The living's really expensive. So, so 3-4 days, maybe we'll say 3-4 days.
To have a chance to see everything.
To see everything. Now, what I do, because I do have to travel to the U.S. to visit family, and one of my problems with traveling to the U.S. is it's a 5-hour time difference from Morocco to the East Coast, so New York. And so when you go, you get jet lag. Yeah. So it really messes up your sleep schedule. And so what I found, it's better to just fly to the East Coast and stay there a few days. And then for me, I'm from Arizona, so I have to fly another 5 hours direct to close to the West Coast, because that's next to California. Yeah. And so that's why I said, go to New York, stay in New York, allow yourself to adjust, because they say for every hour of time difference, it takes a day to get used to that hour. Oh. So if New York is 5 difference from Morocco, 5 hours different different from Morocco, you need 5 days to get used to the change. Yeah. But I'll give it 4. And then we're going to Arizona. So that's another 5-hour plane ride, flight, but and you have to fly. Most of this will be flying because it's just the distances are so big. It takes days to drive, like days and days. It would take a week for a comfortable drive to Arizona from New York.
Is the train as an option too, or no?
Okay, so in the U.S., there's one train line called Amtrak, one passenger train line. And it's just as expensive as airplanes. Oh. And I think it's, again, because the U.S. is so big, it just takes a lot of work to put all the train tracks. And it's not, you don't have competition between other train lines. So the prices, there's nothing driving down the price. Yeah. And it's not like you have different train lines sharing the tracks. So it's... if flying scares you or stresses you out and you have extra time, people do, some people prefer the train. My mom, she gets a little stressed from flying. So she likes trains if it's not too far away. And, but again, they can be just as expensive. There's some sleeper trains where you could get a little room where you sleep. But it's nothing like a real room. It's just like your seat folds down and then you have a like bunk bed on top of you if you're with someone else. And those can be expensive too. So I wouldn't, especially New York to Arizona, don't take the train. It would take days and it'd be quite expensive. Yeah. It'd probably be more expensive than flying in that case. So I'm from Arizona. I love Arizona. And it's desert, which is weird. It's so it's just north of Mexico, like where I'm from, and Tucson. We're like 45 minutes drive from Mexico. So, and it used to be part of Mexico. So you have people living there who are Mexican culture, heritage, and they never change places. It's just the border, moved. And so Mexican food, delicious.
Oh.
You know, when I studied a language in school, it was Spanish. Just so you have, I thought it'd be nice to have that part of the culture in there. And then also it's desert, and it's not like the Sahara, like what we have in Morocco. It's a living desert, and that it has a lot of cactus, like the cactus that have arms. That's the only place in the world where it grows is the Sonoran Desert.
Wow.
So the tall ones where you have like an arm, like in cowboy movies, and a lot of cowboy movies were filmed there. So I think, and it's just a different, you know, it's a different, very different from New York, obviously. So I thought it'd be nice to just see that the desert southern part of the U.S. So I'd say like a day in Tucson or Phoenix. Phoenix is the largest city. Tucson, I like it's a little calmer. I feel it's a little more natural because it's not as big, and they have a great university. And then to go to the northern part of Arizona to see a town in the mountains. So it's kind of has some forests, and but it's called Sedona. And it's this little town, and it has a lot of artists, and it has these giant rocks. They're red, like everything. The mountains are red from the geology, the volcanic activity in the past. And it's just really pretty. And it's special. People say you get a special feeling there, like there's some kind of energy, and they say vortexes. I don't know, but there's actually like places where you can hike in the mountains, and they'll say if you go to the spot, there's an energy vortex. Not sure what that means, but there's a special energy. And when I went there a few years ago with my family, we were able to take a helicopter ride. And it was really pretty. It's like 20 minutes.
Wow.
But it's really special. So I would definitely do like a day in Tucson, and then run up to Sedona, do a day Sedona. And then 4 hours from Sedona, we have the Grand Canyon. So largest canyon in the world, very picturesque. And up there in the northern part of Arizona, you get the Navajo culture. So I think that's a special, important part to experience the indigenous part of America, which has been erased from so many places, but you still have reservations for where it's their land. So you get to experience a little bit of that culture too. And it's just beautiful and very different from other parts of the country. So, and then from Arizona, I thought naturally we want to go to LA. So naturally. And just one of the most, like, it's almost like New York, equal to New York. So I thought 4 days in New York and in LA. And we would definitely Disneyland, which is the original Disney World, and Florida is a little bigger. But Disneyland for me, it's where I went as a kid. And you need a day at least, if not 2 days there. And that's right next to LA in a town called Anaheim, but it's close. And then you can move into LA and do like Hollywood and the Star Walk, the Hollywood Star Walk, Walk of Fame. I forgot.
Yes, Walk of Fame.
With the stars. And then just do some shopping again, sightseeing. If you want to do like a celebrity, houses tour, which I've never done. I'm not really into celebrities. The beach, just to see the different culture, like the skateboarders and like, that California culture. And then like Disneyland, you also have Universal Studios. So that's like Harry Potter movie set, or not movie set, but kind of a thing, Jurassic World stuff. So especially because I have kids, but also like famous movies, like their movies set. So that's a fun thing. So that gets you your amusement park. So definitely LA. And then back to the East Coast. And I thought 4 days in Washington, D.C. And D.C., of course, it has the White House. It has the memorials. But the cool thing about D.C. is that they have the Smithsonian museums, which are, I don't even want to say like 9, if not more now, museums. And they have natural history. So that's where you have the dinosaur skeletons. and all the like big animals. And so you have Natural History Museum or Museum of Natural History, and then you have a lot of art museums.
Yeah.
Which are nice. So they have different time periods, like modern art, more classical art. And then you have like the African American History Museum, the Native American History or Indian History Museum. And then you have an African Art Museum. And so that's right. They're all free, which is great because museums in the U.S. can be $20 or more per person. So they can get really expensive. So Smithsonian was someone a long time ago who donated all his money and resources to making these museums. And so he said that it has to be absolutely free. So all the parking is free, which is big in a downtown big city. Again, all the entrance is free. So you can walk in and out. And you could do easily 2 days at the at these museums. And then you have to take the subway to the zoo, but it's also free. And they have giant pandas. They have a really good, huge zoo. And that's, it's really nice. And
it's a good thing that they're like free. So you don't have to.
Yeah, because that could be really restrictive. And let's see, Washington also has a nice Chinatown. Again, they have good shopping next to Georgetown University. M Street is good for shopping. And so, it's just a good place. Again, you could get a lot of culture and those museums help.
Yeah.
And then one of those days, I said 4 days in DC, you could take just a quick train, like an hour away to Baltimore, and they have the National Aquarium. And that's a really huge aquarium, which is on their harbor in Baltimore. So I think seeing those 4 cities, once a state, Arizona, I think you would get a good start of seeing the U.S. and you'd see a lot. I mean, it'd be exhausting that much. I don't know if I'd actually recommend that you do that just in 15 days. Again, I kind of cheated by not including travel days.
Because the travel does take from your stay. So it does take, especially if it's like a long distance. And a lot of times you have to connect in a different city, and that takes a few hours, and then just going through security. It's a day to get through flying. But I think, again, I did miss, I think if I were to have another week or something, I want to do the South to give that flavor of the Southern accent. And I also didn't do the Midwest. So maybe I would include like Chicago, somewhere in the middle, just so people would. I mean, as we said at the beginning, it's with 15 days, it's very hard to cover everything. So we just gave like a first taste, as you said. And then there are, of course, more to see.
There's a lot. So, but just to say you experienced America, I think this would be a good start too. What about you? Let's hear about Morocco.
So I'm going to start with Marrakesh and then a little bit go north. And come back south.
So starting in the middle.
I'm starting in the middle. And as I said, 15 days is not enough. So if you have more time, that will be good to discover, more cities. So we'll start with Marrakesh. Marrakesh is called the Red City because of the, the houses, the walls and everything. And I personally really, Marrakesh is one of my favorite cities. My mood changes when I enter to the city. It's like, they call it Behja. You know what Behja is?
I've heard
it's
the
like
word.
Happiness, extreme happiness.
Okay.
So I really feel that when I enter, I really feel it. So it's one of my favorite cities, and there's a lot to see. In the city. And the regions too. So, for example, I suggest for Marrakesh, I guess 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is so much to see. There is just in the city. There is Jama' al-Fna. There is the Al-Kutubiya. There is Jardin Majorel. You know those gardens. Yeah. And
recently.
they were, I think, owned by Yves Saint Laurent before.
Yeah.
So so there is a lot of stuff you can see, and the old Medina. It's a different vibe, and it's it's really good. You find the what do we call that,
storytellers?
Yes. And the Jama' al-Fna. And also some people have mostly dinner. Have you ever had dinner in Jama' al-Fna? It's crazy.
Yeah, no, but a long time ago.
Yeah. So the experience in Jama' al-Fna itself, it's really, really different. It's really beautiful. So, and also there is the regions. There is Sidi Fatma.
Okay.
It's like river.
Okay.
And then you can have tagines next to the river.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then then people usually visit it in the winter because there is snow.
Yeah.
And so for Marrakesh there is a lot of stuff, and people also might find malls to shop. They do shopping. I go to shop.
Yeah, we do too. Yeah, we were just there over the weekend. So,
yeah. So they have interest in stuff. The nature is beautiful. The history is beautiful, and also, as I said, just the vibe of the city. For me personally, it's different.
Okay, yeah.
So whenever I get a chance to go to Marrakesh, I just go either for a day or two, because it's close to Agadir. So it's not really, it's really, really close with the highway.
Yeah.
So it's really close. And then I was thinking from Marrakesh, we could go to Casablanca, because it's in the way.
Yeah.
So we could visit the mosque, because it's really the tallest, and it's really. Have you ever been to the mosque in Casablanca?
Yeah, just outside.
I entered inside.
Oh,
it's
really?
Beautiful.
Okay.
It's really beautiful, and the architectural and how it's done, it's really beautiful.
Oh, cool.
So maybe not spend a day in Casablanca, but at least visit the mosque and go to Rabat, because there's just 1 hour between Rabat and Casablanca. And also for Rabat, it's the capital of Morocco. And there is the Hassan Tower. You can also see that. There is, because it's it has two sides. With Rabat, because it's the capital, but also it has some, history too. And then I guess it would be better if to spend the night in Rabat, just because of the distance.
Yeah.
And after, I was thinking about Chefchaouen.
Oh, nice.
Chefchaouen, I know it's a long ride. They can, visit or see Meknes and Fes, but Fes and Meknes will need 2 days.
Yeah.
Just for
each one.
Yeah. Because
together.
Yes, because they're a little bit close.
Yeah.
And 2 days to 3 days just to discover Fes, because again, I was in Fes this holiday, so it's it's so beautiful. No. It's really, really beautiful. You have the old Medina again. You have and also the roads are so the green, because I love the
and green. We're from the south. We're in the Agadir. Yeah, it's not green.
Yeah, so I was seeing the roads, and I was just, oh my God, it's so green.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we were there. We were in the region last week. And
where?
I was just we went to France.
Really it's close. It's close, yeah.
And I was just taking pictures on the way there.
Yes, that's what I was doing too. It's so green, and
really
because
green.
We live in the south, so it's for us, it's something.
Yeah.
So maybe spend 2 days in Fes and Meknes to discover the old city.
Yeah.
The old Medina, it's kind of similar to Marrakesh a little bit. The old Medina, a little bit, and then also the regions. You have also again the nature.
Yeah.
And after that, as I said, Chefchaouen. Chefchaouen is one of the beautiful things I've seen. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't visit yet. I just saw on the internet and also from friends of mine. But it's really beautiful. It's known by the, you know, the blue and the white. It's so photogenic. People take pictures, pictures there. So it's so photogenic. And there are the waterfall Akshur.
Okay.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah, it's close. So also there's nature. Okay. So you'll just, you know, enjoy nature. So it's on my bucket list, and I'm really, I really want to visit Chefchaouen. Yeah. Another spot too, and also it's one of my favorites, Tangier.
Okay. Tell me.
I love Tangier. Tangier, it's because it's in the north. There is a difference, you know, and also people are really nice there, and there's the mix of Spanish because that's the difference. They like speak Arabic and Spanish, so you could have like a taste of the Spanish culture too. So I thought maybe add Tangier too. Yeah. So they could get like that taste.
Yeah, the difference.
Yeah, and also it has a lot of things to see. The inside of the city and also the regions. And they can do some spots in Tucson, in Fnidak. So they're close. Okay. It's really close. They can take like a taxi or a bus. So it's really close. Okay. Yeah. And then we can go to the south, like the Sahara.
Okay.
Yeah, because I try to give the spots just to give a taste of everything. Because as I said, 15 days is not enough to go through everything. Yeah. So for the Sahara, there is also like the desert. And then I've heard a lot of good stuff about Dakhla. Okay. Have you ever been to Dakhla?
I haven't.
But I've seen some stuff really interesting.
That's like ocean and desert, basically.
Yes. So the combination, it's extremely beautiful. And I suggest for Dakhla to fly.
I think you have to.
Yeah. I mean, there are buses, but it's going to take a long...
Especially, we're coming from the north.
It's going to take... Even from Agadir to Dakhla, it's like... It's
8 hours or more.
It's more.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, so definitely fly to Dakhla and get the experience again of, you know, having like the ocean, the desert. So, there's a lot of stuff to see in Morocco. And for only 15 days, it's not enough to get everything. But I just went to the
main points.
Main points. And then from Dakhla, we can get back to Agadir. Okay. So they can get also the, the beach, because Agadir also it's known by like the beach and
the bay.
And they can surf if they're interested in surfing. Yeah. So we have like good waves in here. And then from Agadir, we could go back to Marrakesh and then fly back.
Okay. Yeah. It sounds good. Yeah. I think we need an episode about food, like national.
Yes. Yeah.
But like, do you have any recommendations like in each city? Like, is there a food that you can think of that represents?
For Marrakesh, you definitely have to try tangia.
Yeah.
So it's known there. Yeah. And also in Marrakesh, there are hotels in Marrakesh, but I would suggest stay in Riyadh. So I wanted to mention that. Riyadh, just to get the full experience, because hotels are everywhere. But Riyadhs in Marrakesh are really different.
And then you're in the Medina.
Like yes. Yeah.
Access to Jamifna and everything.
Yes. We're talking about food. So for Marrakesh, the tangia definitely. What else?
Agadir would be like seafood bastilla or something.
Yeah, because of the ocean. Yeah. I was thinking about the Tangier. They had something, but I forgot the name. Yeah, because I tasted when I went there, but I forgot the name.
Is it like tagine?
No.
Different. Okay.
Yeah, it's different, but I forgot the name, unfortunately. Yeah. So, that's what I can think of right now. But for the US is for like food. Is it like something specific for each city?
Well, I mentioned Chinatown a few times. So I think one thing I like doing as a kid when we go to when we went to San Francisco, they also have a very large Chinatown, and we did dim sum for the first time, which is Chinese breakfast. And it's you are in a restaurant, usually very large, very busy, and they have carts that they bring to the tables, and you have different like platters of little kind of pastries or and you just take they'll tell you what it is, and you'll take a plate, and then so it's just different from the noodles and rice that we're used to. Yeah. So that's I'd say if you visit Chinatown, try to do dim sum. Okay, Arizona Mexican food.
Yeah.
That's California, they have that very kind of natural like avocado salads and stuff, which I crave, like very light, usually healthy, because California is famous for being health conscious. So I would go for that. The amusement parks are famous for their pretzels and fried stuff. So I mean, definitely enjoy the amusement park food.
Yeah.
New York, of course, is famous for its pizza and again, a lot of different immigrant communities. So you have a lot of different ethnic foods too, but maybe get some pizza. And then what was a DC? I don't know. Yeah, I think we should do a separate one.
Yeah, because really, for me, it's very hard to kind of remember all the names. So I just mentioned Tangier, but there are of course more. So we'll maybe do an episode just for food, and then we can share.
Regional. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
because I think even though the U.S. is famous for hot dogs, it doesn't mean I like hot dogs. Yeah, and they aren't really tied to a region. So yeah, let's do a food one.
Yeah, we'll do a food one. Why not? Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that
and also share and know about the culture from the food too. So yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yes, let's do that.
We'll do a food one. We need to research. Well, thanks for listening to us. We hope you enjoyed our vacations virtual. I don't even know.
Yeah,
imagination vacation.
And I mean, 15 days we couldn't go through everything, but we gave, as Alana said, a first taste, and we'll see you in the next episode. Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.